What a great time to be a Giant, be a fan of the Giants.
Like, we have something going here. We're building something special, and you can see it from the outside and inside. It's even more beautiful.
Reflecting on everything that got me here, just to see that uniform, and I watched. That's the team I watched the most growing up because my dad was a Giants fan. So
once a Giant, always a Giant. For me, it's only a Giant.
Welcome, everybody, to an on-the-road edition of All In with Art Stapleton, the New York Giants podcast brought to you by NorthJersey.com and The Record. I am your host, Art Stapleton, and yes, I am still in Arizona. That's because the Giants are still here, staying in Tempe between games. The epic comeback win over the Cardinals on Sunday night, and then a quick turnaround. San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara, California, on Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. It'll be on locally. I believe it's on Channel 5 locally, on Fox for those of you in the New York, New Jersey area. But Giants, 49ers had a bunch of stuff coming down yesterday, so want to come on, do a show today. We'll have sound from Daniel Jones and Darren Waller, and I figured I'd set the scene for you out here in Arizona. But first, let's talk Saquon Barkley. Week to week is what I'm hearing. I think you get to a point where, each player is individual with his rehab from injuries. So Barkley, MRI showed no surprises. It's pretty much what we anticipated leaving the stadium on Sunday night. But like I said on the podcast, and I put online at NorthJersey.com, I was cautioned by several people in the organization that wait until the MRI, that yes, the x-rays were negative, but x-rays only show part of the story. That's about bones and fractures. With Saquon, it was going to be the diagnosis of what the ankle sprain was. Was it a high ankle sprain? Was it a low ankle sprain? Well, the further testing showed that it was a low ankle sprain, so it's week to week. Now, obviously, he's not playing on Thursday night against the 49ers. You're going to see Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, and maybe a little of rookie Eric Gray mixed in. I think Brightwell will kind of take over the first and second down stuff, but how much are they going to do that against the vaunted San Francisco front? That'll remain to be seen. So I think you'll see a lot of Breida because I think the Giants will be passing a lot against San Francisco. Maybe they do some gadgets where Paris Campbell plays in the backfield a little bit. We'll see how that plays out. But Saquon, as of Tuesday, the Giants, after the 49er game, so as of the diagnosis Monday, the Giants have 2 games in 20 days. One is on October 2nd, which is the Monday Night Football game at home at MetLife against the Seattle Seahawks. And then the following Sunday is on the road in Miami against the Dolphins. So that's 20 days. Now, I know ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that it was 3 weeks. That puts him at 3 weeks right before the Miami game. Like I said, I was told week to week because when you're dealing with individual players, look, you want a guy to be back at 100%. And I don't think Saquon's contract has anything to do with this. I think he wants to be on the field. He needs to be on the field. You could see how dejected he was after the game on the sideline in the waning moments. My interpretation was this was frustration. This was just, he could not believe that yet another fluke injury was going to take him out for an extended period of time. Again, short-term, long-term, it's all relative. Missing any games for Saquon Barkley is a killer for him. It certainly hurts the Giants, as Daniel Jones continues to say, and you'll hear in a little while, that he's a big part of what they do. That's undeniable. You can take the contract debates that were for the offseason and put them on the side. Saquon's here for 1 year. He's on a 1-year contract. We know what the price is. It's up to $11 million. With him missing games, it's very unlikely that he's going to hit those incentives. The Giants need to make the playoffs anyway for those incentives to kick in. So a lot changed on Sunday night for Saquon. 4 of his 6 seasons now have been interrupted by some kind of injury. That's got to be frustrating for him. You know, some of these injuries have been flukes. It hasn't been, look, the ACL is one thing, but stepping on the foot of a Cowboys defender and having to miss games. What happened on Sunday night with basically the Giants running out the clock and putting him in a situation where he's able to protect himself and then having a defender fall on his ankle. That's got to be frustrating. And there's reason why he's despondent. It wasn't that he thought he was going to be knocked out for 6 weeks or anything like that. The frustrating part of it is that's how it happened. And I think, that's something for Saquon to kind of deal with emotionally and try to get back out there. We haven't talked to him. I don't anticipate being able to talk to him maybe until we get back to New Jersey. And even then, you got to see where he's at. Could be surprised, but we'll see. So setting the scene for you a little bit from here in Arizona. The Giants are staying in Tempe. They've been in Tempe from the beginning, right near the campus of Arizona State. Monday and Tuesday, they're having walkthroughs, jog-throughs, working out at the training facility for Arizona State. It's pretty locked down, so if you're a fan listening to this, don't think you're all of a sudden going to head over to Arizona State and see the Giants. It's not going to happen. They've got security there. So that's the way it is. We had our media availability with the players on the rooftop of their hotel in Tempe. We talked to Daniel Jones, Darren Waller, Xavier McKinney, and Bobby Okereke. Later Tuesday, we're going to have more player availability. I will be leaving Arizona for San Francisco tonight to give myself an entire day in San Francisco tomorrow. And then obviously Thursday, game day. It's a long drive from the San Francisco airport to the stadium in Santa Clara. It's about an hour in traffic, so you want to get there a day early to try to, move things around and give yourself some flexibility. That's on my end. For the Giants, they are staying and leaving on Wednesday. Obviously, they don't fly commercial, so it's a little different than what we're dealing with. And I believe they're flying to San Jose. They can fly to San Jose because they have a charter flight. It's not easy to get flights from San Jose to New York. So that's one of the reasons why we're flying to San Francisco, to have a chance to be able to get a better flight on Friday morning. I didn't want to fly from Arizona to San Jose and then from drive from San Jose up to San Francisco on Friday morning. That just seemed like a very difficult proposition. So that's where we're at. We'll do some San Francisco previews after we get to Daniel Jones. He's up first here. This is yesterday on Monday from the Giants Hotel. Here's Daniel Jones.
Around when the team's had to play without Saquon, what is it like and how tough is it?
Yeah, I think obviously we'll miss him. He's a huge part of what we're doing. So guys will have to step up, and it won't be any one guy. It'll be everyone elevating their play and stepping up, and I'm confident we can do that. We got lots of guys who can step in and do different things and help out.
How much more do you think it puts on your shoulders? Not having him there, obviously, a loss, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have things in the game plan in certain ways to get guys in different spots and use their skill sets. So, my job is the same, is to execute and to give the playmakers the ball in space and let them do their thing. So, I don't think it changes my mindset or how I need to do my job or execute the offense.
Why do you talk to him since the diagnosis came down? Saquon?
Yeah.
What was the conversation like? Where are his spirits?
I think he's doing all right. He's a mature guy. Obviously, he's disappointed and feel for him on that, but he's going to work hard to get back, and he'll be
Daniel, when you look over the film of yesterday and you prepare for San Francisco, what are the things you're taking out, negative and positive out of those? Because when you're kind of looking at it, obviously the first half wasn't what you wanted, but the resolve you guys showed in the second half and the execution was there. So how do you process that as you go forward? What went down yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were some plays out there in the first half that we didn't convert, and I think we'll go back and we gotta clean those up. We can't afford to start slow like that and miss opportunities early in the game to convert. So that'll be an emphasis of ours going forward. But we did show the fight and the resolve to down the stretch, and we made a lot of those plays and found a way to win. So definitely proud of that, proud of how the team responded. But there's a lot to clean up certainly from that first half.
Do you think this passing game is better equipped than any other time when you didn't have Saquon to maybe fill in for that loss, that you guys are just more explosive?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of guys with different skill sets, and we have guys of Jalen stepping up and making a couple really big plays for us with his speed and ability, and obviously Darren played well, and Darius played big, Isaiah, Paris, everybody stepped in and contributed yesterday. So I feel good about the guys we got.
It seems like you have a receiving core now where it's the talent and playmaking are pretty spread out, so where you don't have to rely on one guy. I mean, how does it help you to all these different guys that you can go to?
Yeah, I think it certainly helps me, helps our whole offense to have that many guys who can make plays and do it in different ways, and they all have a little bit different skill sets, and I think we do a good job kind of setting guys up to be successful based on what they're good at, and we'll continue to do that.
Can you see or feel the impact Jalen's speed has on a defense?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously we're just 2 games into it, and he's made some big plays, so we'll see how defenses adjust, but we've got to continue to make those plays and take advantage of the opportunities.
Can you talk a little bit about how the offense can benefit from the defense adjusting that, then when they start to truly fear his speed and then game planning to try to take that away?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it opens up stuff underneath, and but there's a lot of plays we got to make and convert, and we'll continue to look to do that.
What have you seen from Matt Breida?
He's extremely dependable. He's an explosive runner. He's got the speed, the breakaway speed, and he's just he's always doing the right thing. Just a guy you can count on to step up and play well. Last year he played really well, and then this year in spots he's played well. So a guy you can definitely count on.
Daniel, when you come off of a game like last night and the adrenaline is really pumping on a short week, is it hard to come down and get right back to work, knowing what you have waiting for you in San Francisco?
Yeah, I think these short weeks are always, the turnaround's quick, and you got to be able to put it behind you and get ahead, get started on the week, pretty much immediately after the game. So it can be tough, but we've got to do it. San Francisco's doing the same thing. So, that's a challenge this week, and we'll approach it like we do all the other challenges.
Yeah, everybody knows how, with Darren Waller, what his skills are, obviously. As you got to know him, what have you learned about him a little bit? Obviously, he's been through a lot of stuff off the field and stuff that he's overcome. And how does that help you guys as a team, maybe some things, wisdom you can bring?
Yeah, he's extremely level-headed, and his demeanor is always the same. He shows up and does his work. He's the same every day. He's consistent in that approach, and been in the league for a long time. So he's seen a lot, kind of a steady presence in the locker room that guys can look to as a leader, and I think he's been a big help for us.
Who was calling plays in the second half yesterday?
I'm always getting the plays from Kafka.
Back to Jalen for a second. He had mentioned at that first play out of the half, he was like, just throw it when you guys were breaking out of the huddle. What does that tell you about the rookie's confidence and in those big moments?
Yeah, I think you want guys like that. You want receivers that want the ball, and he's had that same kind of confidence and desire to make the play, and we've seen that since he got here, really. So got a lot of trust and confidence in him, and he played well for us.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, TJ. So there you have Daniel Jones coming off of the best half of football that he's ever played. I think you could probably go all the way back through college and high school. He was phenomenal against Arizona. Yes, you take the opponent into question, but any team that's up 21 points midway through the third quarter, and that's what the Arizona Cardinals were. They were up 21 points. I don't care if they're a team that's in the hunt for the number 1 overall pick or if they're in the hunt for the Super Bowl. Yes, it matters, but the reality is they can play a lot differently when they have that cushion. And I think you have to give the Giants credit for coming back off the deck the way they did. And Jones was just phenomenal, ripping it everywhere. Everybody was involved. The catch by Isaiah Hodgins in the end zone was phenomenal. Darren Waller was great. Darius Slayton was tremendous. Saquon's catch and run for the touchdown in which he dove for the pylon was a tremendous play. And look, the offensive line played pretty well, considering they started essentially 3 rookies. Azudu at left tackle is essentially a rookie. He missed most of last season, and when he played last season, he played at guard. Marcus McKeithen missed the entire season with an ACL. He started at right guard, played pretty well. And then the true rookie, John Michael Schmitz at center, is 2 games into his career. Then when you figure Evan Neal hasn't even played a full 17 games for a regular season. Now he has if you could count the playoff games, but Evan Neal's in that mix. And then what happened at left guard, Ben Bredesen goes out. He's the veteran of the group. He goes out with a concussion. And then Mark Glowinski, after being benched at right guard, comes in to play left guard, which he's only dabbled in a little bit this summer. I think the last time Glowinski played left guard was 2017. So the Giants up front did a pretty damn good job. Yes, I know they're not facing the front this week that they faced last week. San Francisco is going to bring all sorts of problems. Mr. Bosa, what they do with their linebackers. This is a great team. This is a team that played for the Super Bowl last year, played to try to get to the Super Bowl, and lost to the team that beat the Giants 3 times last year. And maybe if they didn't lose Brock Purdy at quarterback, maybe San Francisco is in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs and not Philadelphia. So we'll obviously have more on San Francisco tomorrow on our game day pod. Well, not tomorrow, Thursday on our game day pod. I'll make sure I do that in the morning and get it up for you. Christian McCaffrey obviously is going to gain a lot of focus, a lot of attention. We'll see if Brandon Ayuk can play. He hurt his shoulder on Sunday, short week. He did not practice in their walkthrough yesterday. So we'll see if Ayuk is out there. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. This is a loaded team. So the Giants have their work cut out for them, especially without Saquon Barkley. Giants defense has to show up. Point blank, period. This defense needs to lift its game and play a lot better from front to back and back to front. It's not going to be easy to get pressure on San Francisco, but they've got to prevent big plays and hang in there a little bit. Show some guts. They did that late in the game against the Cardinals. But this is not the Cardinals. So you heard from Daniel Jones. Let's get to Darren Waller. I love listening to Darren Waller, going all the way back to the spring when he was on All In, when we had our interview then. I just don't know how you're not a fan of what he's overcome, but also who he is on the field as a leader in this locker room. Just listen to his answers, talking about Daniel Jones, what the running backs need to do to replace Saquon Barkley, and just in general, overall, where Waller sees this team going into Thursday night.
Next few weeks.
I still think it requires a healthy level of balance with any offense. I believe in Breida, GP, guys like that. They're going to step up. EG, guys that have made plays since April. They're going to come in and offer that, because we can't just drop back every time. We got to have some level of balance. And I believe in those guys to hold up their end of the bargain. But whatever's required of us in the passing game, we're willing to do.
Have you talked to Saquon since you heard that he'll be out?
I just talked to him like he's my teammate. You know, I don't try to ask a bunch of questions or get into dude's business too much. You know, just like, hey, we here supporting you no matter what.
Why do you think you guys had so much success in the second half when you were running out 12 personnel on the play action over and over? Why do you think that was so successful?
It was just plays that we know we can run and execute at a high level, and it's just almost like a reset. You never want to start a game like that, but in a weird way, it was like a perspective reset. I'm like, okay, like nothing great is going to happen, like as far as like a big result, if you don't just do things from a play-by-play perspective and stack up drives from there and allow the result to take care of itself. So just that level of reset and just getting back to things that we know how to do was a big difference.
Darren, how did you feel getting into the mix a little bit more? Obviously, the Dallas game, there wasn't much time to do that. It kind of just got away from you guys. But the way you were able to affect the game yesterday, how did that feel to kind of have a little taste of that? For your first time here with these guys.
Yeah, no, it feels good to be able to have the opportunity to make plays in this league and make a difference on a team. And that's all I want to do is just present myself open to the quarterback, run a winning route, catch the football, just keep it that simple. And if opportunities come my way, no matter the quantity, I feel like I'm going to take advantage of them.
In your limited time here with Daniel, what have you learned about him in regards to how he handles pressure, how he handles adversity? What have you noticed from him in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so many opportunities in the NFL to like ride the roller coaster if you want to, and I feel like he just refuses to get on it. Like if you look at, we were like 60-0 in our first 6 quarters, or there's turnovers, there's just drives that aren't getting there, and it's just like you don't see him wearing it, you don't see him pointing at other guys or like getting mad on the sideline. It's just like, all right, like eventually, like as long as we keep plugging into this process and try to do things the right way, like it's going to turn for us. And that energy paid off. It's something that you can follow.
But you did in a way see a different side of him yesterday, though. Now, I mean, or had you seen that sort of, the headbutting, the fiery type of side?
I've seen him headbutt. I think he headbutted Slay last year. I think Slay had a touchdown against like the Texans or something it was. So it's like on a huge play, like he's got the fire. But it's like I'll see highlights. I watch things. I know Slay. He's from Atlanta, so I keep an eye on him. But yeah, no, he's got that fire that's like it'll show up with big plays, big moments. But it's also a fire that's like, okay, it's not going to take me out of just this play-by-play process.
Are you into scoring a lot of touchdowns, but maybe not getting head-butted by the quarterback? I mean, what's the are you like, okay, we can do something else besides headbutt?
No, I mean I'm all for it.
Okay.
That's a headbutt that I'll willingly receive. But but yeah, no, that's just being in the moment and enjoying big plays.
Darren, is there any part?
It's easier for vets to deal with this kind of short week and know how to prepare, with a quick turnaround. You guys have to help younger guys with this process, especially for rookies, the third week of the season, just in terms of dealing with this kind of situation, especially against a team like that.
Yeah, it takes some experience doing it. This is my first time, so I kind of know like you're not getting that off day time or that time to kind of recalibrate. It's like, okay, like as soon as this game's over, this next day I got to jump back into it. There's going to be like a Wednesday, Thursday type of day coming out of it, and it's a little tough. But at the end of the day, it's like this is reality. We knew we would have this for months in advance, and to complain about the circumstances isn't going to help us be any more ready. So, but yeah, as a young guy, it's kind of like, dang, like this is happening kind of fast, but with experience, you know how to handle it.
I would think you learn.
How do you feel with the short?
I'm actually grateful because all the time.
Because I know you had the hamstring you talk about to be able to turn it around so quickly, body wise.
Oh yeah, no, I feel definitely like coming out of this game a lot better than I did the first game. So I'm grateful for that, and all the Thursday games I played in my career have always been late in the season, and this one's early, so I'm kind of grateful for that.
Is Daniel different than any quarterback you've ever been around in terms of the way he goes about things?
He's similar in a lot of ways, but different in a lot of ways. Kind of like, I mean, you can look at any quarterback that way, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, Daniel is, doesn't attract a lot of attention to himself in any type of way. It's just like, hey, like let's play ball at a high level and enjoy doing it. And I love being around guys like that.
Darren, as a tight end, what do you admire about George Kittle's game? San Francisco?
If I could put a word on it, I'd say like he's just like tenacious, you know what I'm saying? No matter what phase of the game it's in, he's trying to run 8 people over, he's trying to block the biggest dude on the field. Like it's just like football in its purest form. Like he loves it and embraces every challenge, and he can run pretty much any route too. So it's a lot of things to love about his game.
Thanks, Darren.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darren. So that'll wrap it up for us here in Arizona. Next time I record All In, I will be in San Francisco getting ready for Thursday night's game. That is, of course, unless there's some sort of breaking news, that I will do a podcast between now and then on Wednesday if something comes out of the Giants that needs to be addressed. I think it'll be a game time decision for Andrew Thomas at left tackle, for Wan'Dale Robinson. I think both players are pretty close to being ready, but the Giants may err on the side of caution and say, you know what, let's hold them out, give them a whole nother week, and then be ready for the Seattle game back at home on October 2nd. We'll see if that's what happens. It's going to be a tough task. The Giants are double-digit underdogs for a reason, and that spread will likely increase going into Thursday night. But, look, winning in Arizona kind of steadies things for the Giants. Now you take your shot at the 49ers. If you were 2-0, you'd have an opportunity to go against the 49ers, and I still think they would be heavy favorites to beat you. Injuries are usually what catches up to the 49ers. They've obviously caught up to the Giants now with Saquon going out. So hope you enjoyed today's show, listening to Daniel Jones and Darren Waller, and making the most of what we can on this short week and this trip out here to Arizona and San Francisco. Thanks for reading. We had record numbers yesterday on all our coverage of the Giants, so I thank you for being all in. Please continue to read all of my coverage at northjersey.com and across the USA Today network. Again, I'm Art Stapleton, and we're all in.